Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back once again. A waterfall whose water, if someone drops it from his throat, then death is miles away from him because that person has become immortal. But will anyone ever be able to find that waterfall? The story begins with an archaeologist named Luke, who is stealing a precious painting and running away. But now a few other people have also joined him to get that painting. Meanwhile, he was getting calls from a man named Kasim again and again. But he would cut him every time, and then somehow got him to leave him and got on the train. And he got lost in a deep sleep. During this time, he had a dream that he was in a mysterious place where he had stolen a precious mask. In the meantime, when he opened his eyes, he saw a girl named Azmi sitting in front of him, whose job is to get that precious painting, which every millionaire dreams of getting. And in this regard, today she has come to meet him because she knows that she has the things she wants. But Luke can't give her his hard work so easily, and Azmi won't let him go so easily either. His men are full in the whole train, who beat Luke mercilessly, but he somehow managed to cheat them and escape, and he came out and called his friends for help. Now the scene shifts and reaches Charlotte in London, who is fighting for her daughter's custody from her ex-husband, as if she has to leave her job every day and become a part of this debate. Now when she went to the British Museum to complete her incomplete work, then her brother Luke reaches there. Seeing him, she was surprised that where he had been for so many days. So he tells her that he actually wants her to go on an adventure with him again, like a child. But Charlotte said that now she has become a mother and is very happy with her museum job. In the meantime, when Luke steals a precious painting from there, Charlotte does not know. That alarm went off, so now Charlotte runs after him and comes out and asks him to return the painting. But Luke says that he will have to sit with him first, so now he has to sit in his vintage car, which he had stolen from a millionaire's house. I mean, nothing is his own. Anyway, now he starts driving the car with a fast and dangerous turn, and the whole police force of the city is behind him. As soon as the blink of an eye, he enters it from behind a truck. Some of his old friends were driving Murphy and Depp, but as soon as Charlotte sees them, she recognizes them, because they were old friends of his dad, and he used to work with them in his company. Meanwhile, Murphy tells Luke that this is not the picture we were looking for. You got the wrong thing. Now Luke is disappointed to hear this, and then he tells his sister that it's okay. You can take it with you now. And by saying this, he sprays him with a spray that makes her sleep. Then when she opens her eyes, she was sitting in a park, where she went straight to the museum, where the present Inspector Jamal saw her and said, "It seems that you are involved in this theft with your brother." But before he could do anything, he finds out that someone has put that stolen painting in its old place. But because of all this, Charlotte loses her job. And on top of that, she has also come into the eyes of the police, which means that now it will be more difficult for her to get custody of her daughter. On top of that, she has also lost her job. Now she reached a secret den of Luke while running, where there are billions of things stolen from every corner of the world. But today he is looking for something else, which is not only mentioned today, but it has been happening since before human beings, and it is called the Fountain of Youth, which means the Fountain of Youth. On drinking it, a person is not only immortal, but he becomes so rich that he will be able to feed the world 4,000 times. But Luke can't do all this alone. In fact, a billionaire named Owen is supporting him, who actually has cancer, and he wants Luke to find that fountain for him. In return, he is ready to pay him anything. When Charlotte heard this whole story, she had only one imagination, and the story made by humans. But Luke said that stories are made only when there are millions of truths in it. The mention of this fountain is in the books of every religion and in every book, which is related to God. But God has hidden the place where it exists from everyone. There is only one family whose generation is protecting that path, which is called the protector of the path. And I feel that Azmi is part of that family, because he knows something that no one knows. But in 1600, the rulers were in control, so the 6 famous artists of the world, don't know how, but they got information about the path of that place. They hid that location in 6 paintings, which Luke was still stealing, in which something was written in Latin in each painting, but they still don't know what it was. Then Charlotte tells him that he has stolen a first copy instead of a real Rembrandt painting. Then Owen asks her to give him some clues about the real one. But Charlotte doesn't want to get involved in all this. Then Owen offers her a deal. If he helps her, Then after the work is done, he will hire a top lawyer in the world for her, so that she gets custody of her daughter, and later, her old job too. After thinking for a long time, Charlotte gives him a clue that gather more information about the Vanderbilt family. He is the key to your treasure. Then in the evening, Luke sits in the cafe and reads about Vanderbilt. That's when he finds Asmi there, who threatened him to stay away from this search. Otherwise, I will finish your whole team. But this threat didn't affect Luke. Then he went to his nephew's concert, where Charlotte was also present. Who told him that he has found out about the real painting? Where was he last seen? In the end, he convinces him to come with him. And then we see the whole team in the island. Actually, that painting was last seen in a sinking ship, and now it is under the ocean. But they want that painting at any cost, and that's why they send a drone down first. Who cut the first-class part of that sunken ship, and then put a swimmer balloon next to it, with the help of which it comes on the water itself. That is, now their work has become even easier. Immediately, Luke and Charlotte went inside it, and start stealing everything. Meanwhile, they also find a locker, which had some valuable jewelry, which Luke wants to steal, but Charlotte forbids him to do so. He is not a robber, so that's why we will find what we came here for. Meanwhile, the teammates on the other ship get the news of someone's arrival on the radar. Actually, it was not anyone else, but Asmi and his people, who have found out that Luke and his people finally found out about the remaining painting. But every time, why does Asmi come everywhere? Was what Luke said really true? Anyway, these two brothers and sisters somehow get that painting finally, with which they were very happy. But before they could get out of there, the swimmer balloons that were installed, they are slowly getting spoiled. That is, now it means that. Now that part of the ship will not be able to stay up for a long time. We can also see the effect of it. That how the water is now being filled quickly. That's why these two come up immediately. That's when Asmi came in front of them, and his people, who were completely devoid of weapons. They will have to fight. Otherwise, the painting will go from their hands. And that's why Luke starts fighting them with all his life. But now there were blind bullets, some of which get stuck in those balloons. So something is flying up in the helicopter as soon as it leaves from there. But now the ship was going down fast. That's why they have to get out of there quickly. But what is this? That painting bag fell into the water somewhere. Now Asmi has also taken Charlotte under his control. That's why Luke is stuck on both sides. And in the meantime, the ship starts sinking faster, because of which there was a sharp shock, and Asmi fell down from the balcony. After that, these two immediately swam out. Then their team saved them. But what happened to that painting? We are not told yet. Now, after coming back, Charlotte gets a call from her ex-husband, who tells her that he is going to Japan for a few days. That's why she can keep her son. But Charlotte understands that this is all Owen's doing. That's why she joined the team again, and now she has to do it somehow. To join those 6 words. And she found out that by joining those 6 letters, the letter that is being formed is WICT, and this is a wrongly printed Bible, which was written in the 1600s, which had some such elements, which were deliberately written wrongly. They believed that the fountain could be mentioned in it, because all this wrongly printed Bible was destroyed, but it is still kept in a safe place. Then suddenly there, Inspector Jamal collides with his team, and he is caught red-handed. But behind him, Kasim came, who caught him, and now everyone in him has joined the tense atmosphere. Luke offers Kasim a deal: let his team go. In return, he will give him all the paintings. Now he agreed. And then what did Luke do? He turned the music loud and sat under the table, taking advantage of this opportunity. The police called the goons. Then blind bullets started firing from both sides. Meanwhile, Luke runs away from the back road with his team. Although the police killed everyone, but they didn't get that painting. But yes, they found a clue that it was WICT Bible. In the second scene, we see Luke in the middle of a desert, where he is drinking water in a golden pot. That's when Charlotte and Thomas stand in front of him. Thomas gets old quickly. Seeing them, he breaks the pot and boom. Then his eyes open, and we found out that it was just a dream. Now they are going to Austria, in search of that Bible, and this time Thomas is also with them. They easily get entry to the Austrian National Museum because they had invested a lot of money there, who is now sitting with Thomas in a cafe, telling him how to become rich. Here the three get a chance to go to the place where the Bible was kept. He was also surprised to see it. How has it been kept safe so far? Standing outside, he sees with them that the people of Esme have also reached the museum. Esme. She reaches everywhere. That's why he gives information to Luke about this, and the staff member tells him there. In fact, because of another mistake, no one has ever found this Bible. In the meantime, Luke meets Esme. Then what was it? There is a fierce fight between the two, but in the end, Luke wins. But now these people can't get out. That's why they have to adopt this plan, for which they make a small explosion at the same place, which makes it away, with the help of which these people, they fled through the manhole with that Bible. In the meantime, some people also attack Owen, but Owen faced them bravely and did not let anything happen to Thomas. Here Jamal reached the museum with his people and started investigating, and here in the hotel, they try to understand the 7 words written on the border of the Bible, but no one understands anything. What is it really? In the meantime, Charlotte talks about leaving the team because now her daughter is also in danger. In the meantime, Thomas tells her that these 7 words are actually 7 musical notes, which match an old song in which 7 wonders have been mentioned. These people see the 7 wonders on the map. Then they match the path found in the painting. Everything was right, except for the Pyramid of Giza. That is, what they are looking for. It is there. That's why the whole team leaves for Egypt. On the other hand, the leader of the Azumiko Protector gives a special kind of key with which he can stop the journey. And when Charlotte saw so many bags in the hands of Owen's security, she was surprised. Why is this? But Owen did not tell her anything. The guide took them inside, but he did not have the authority to open the secret chamber. In addition, Owen's people open the bag, and a digging machine comes out of it. Seeing this, the guide forbids them to do this. Even Charlotte forbids. But now Owen's behavior is getting strange. Jamal is coming with the police force, so the security starts shooting at him. There is a response from there. In the meantime, we also see Azami, who was watching all this from a distance. The team dug down, where there was a special kind of structure in front of them. It was impossible to move it. That's why these people, they start trying to break it. But Luke and Charlotte prevented them from doing this. That's why Thomas started playing some strange instruments there, from which a sound came out, and then the structure opened on its own. When these people went down, there was a cellar there, on the walls of which some ancient structures were made. Now a fierce battle has begun, because Murphy and Depp both fight Owen's security, but Depp gets shot in this, and Jamal comes and saves them. Then both went inside the pyramid together. That is, they have met now. The team is now going down fast, because Luke knows the way to this place. Gradually these people, after passing through different kinds of mysteries, finally, they reach the bottom. Azami also reached from behind. In the middle, they get a place of water, where a little water was collected. Then Owen tells Luke that first he will drink the water, which Charlotte understood, that he was not sick, but he just wants to sell it and become rich himself. That's why she starts describing the ancient words written on the walls there. Like if someone is not worth it, then he will not be able to drink it. Otherwise, he will be cursed instead of Amar. But Owen has gone crazy in greed. He shot at Luke's hand and said, "Hurry up or I'll kill everyone." That's why he has to go. In the middle, and as soon as he picks up that water, in his hand, there is a form like a stream, and we see that the wound in his hand, it gets completely cured. And when he brought that water close to him, then he saw that Thomas and Charlotte are getting old, actually friends. There is a secret behind this water. If someone wants to be immortal by drinking it, then he will have to sacrifice his neighbor. He will have to sacrifice. In a way, he will get his life, and in this case, his closest, his sister and his son. He does not want them to die in front of him. That's why he immediately threw him down. But now Owen has found out. How does this work? And that's why he himself decided to drink that water. But as we know, Owen does not love anyone. He only loves himself. That's why his own life starts to end. But Azmi puts a key on it, and slowly, all the gates start to close. That's why everyone goes out. Otherwise, everyone will be closed forever. In the same hurry, all Owen's companions fell. although Luke also slipped. But Azmi saves him at the right time and brought everyone out. He praised Luke's courage and said goodbye to him with a kiss. Jamal also understood that the real villain was Owen, which is over. And both brothers and sisters talk about the next adventure. Now Thomas gives them an idea, with which this story ends here. Well, how did you like the story? Do tell us by commenting. Thank you so much for watching.